Live Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Minnesota Vikings. And why those Minnesota Vikings 0-16? Because they suck. Not so much maybe today, but they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. I'm going to try this again. Anybody out there at all? Anybody who spend any time with me? I was talking about a minute or two ago, and my microphone wasn't working. Gotta love it. But it seems to be working fine now. All right, so anybody out there going to spend any time with me at all here this evening, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Or anybody spends any time watching the replay of this. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. As I always do, shoot my mouth off. Anybody got anything to say? Please feel free. Fire away. Throw it in the chat box. I check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So anybody got anything to say, just throw it in there, and I will respond to you. All right. Before I get started, anybody want to help support my channel? It would mean the absolute world to me. The top link in the description box. It takes you to like my membership page. I guess there's 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them and everything. There's loyalty badges, which are pretty cool. There's 4 different emojis, which I had made on Fiverr. Eventually, there will be a 5th emoji coming out. Okay. I get a kick out of them every time I look at the emojis. They crack me up. But you can use the emojis in the chat box. Or if you make a comment or something like that. So anybody, would mean the absolute world to me. And also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below. Click on that subscribe button and hit the bell icon. That way, next time either I go live or I put out a video, whatever, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. And then finally, also in the description box below, okay, I have there's 3 links. Okay, one of them is the top one. Okay, is to a page. I'm sorry, is to a group, a Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. All right. Right now we have over 1,900 members in there. All right. So please click on that link and become a member. All right. It's got some sad links in there today, unfortunately. But I said, not only did I put do I put stuff in there every day, but the members put in stuff in there every day too. So it's a big group. So it's just not me. It's everybody else puts stuff in there too. So please click on that link and become a member. Then there's 2 other links in there. Okay, Facebook links. Well, the one there's 3 of them all together. The middle one, okay, is to a page. Actually, the bottom 2 are pages. The one is called it's called the Gridiron, New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's a page. I'm the administrator, so basically I'm the only one to put stuff in there. But saying it's the same thing with that. I try to put stuff in there every day. All right, so 7 days a week I'm putting stuff in there. All right, so please click on that link. Right, like it and follow it. Right now, there's 449 people who like the page, and there's over 1,300 people following it. There's another link in there too. Okay, Facebook link for a page. It's This Day in New York Giants History. I'm not as involved in that right now. Eventually, I'm going to try to spend some more time doing that. Just right now during the season, between the YouTube channel, the Facebook group and the Facebook page, I'm spending like 2-3 hours every day in there. So just taking up a lot of my time, but eventually I'm going to try to start working on that other page, This Day in New York Giants History. Okay. So if you want to click on that, like that one, and follow as well. But the other 2, the group and the page, there's stuff going in there every day, and I don't commingle them. I don't, whatever I put on the page, I really don't put in the group. Same likewise, whatever goes in the group does not go on the page. So usually it's all different videos and different posts and everything like that. And as always, it comes back with a money back guarantee. If you're not completely satisfied. So click on them, become a member, like them, and follow them, and you won't be disappointed. All right, so with all that stuff out of the way, I'll tell you. What we got? Anthony Barker, if the Giants win next week, are they in the playoffs? I believe they are. I have to check, but the one nice thing was, and you hate backing into the playoffs. Boy, you hate doing that. But the thing was, is today, the 49ers beat the Commanders. I think it was 37-20. The Chiefs beat the Seahawks. Okay. And Carolina just whooped up on the Lions. Okay. So all the teams, they all lost. So I think if the Giants do win next week, I do believe they're in the playoffs. I'm not 100% sure of that. I have to check on that, but I do believe so, because none of those other teams, the Commanders, the Lions, or the Seahawks, gained any ground on the Giants, right? The Commanders would have to win the next two, and the Giants would have to lose the next two for the Commanders to bump out the Giants. And it's almost the same thing like with, I'd have to, let me check on this here. Hold on. NFL standings. Damn. National Football League. Okay. So we got, let's see. So the Lions have 8 losses. The Giants have 6. So if the Giants go 8-1 and the Lions win, the Lions and the Seahawks both have the head-to-head. Okay. The Seahawks are 7. So if the Giants win next week, they would be 9-6-1, and they'll be in the playoffs. Yeah, because if they win, if they beat the Colts, they're in. They'll be 9-6-1. The best the Seahawks could do would be 9-8. The worst, if the Giants win next week, the worst the Giants could do would be 9-7-1. Okay. And it's the same thing with the Lions. The best the Lions could do would be 9-8. If once again, the Giants win next week, the worst they could do would be 9-7. So if the Giants win next week against the Colts, which, you don't want to say they should, but yeah, hopefully they should, right? The Giants are in the playoffs, plain and simple. And then if the Giants win, they would be 9-6-1. And the worst they could be would be 9-7-1. Yeah, and no matter what, they will be. It looks like, apparently, if they win next week, no matter what, it looks like they'll be the second wild card. Because if they win next week, they'll be 9-7-1. And if they lose the last week against the Eagles, I'm just saying they'll be 9-7-1. If the Commanders win their next 2 games, the Commanders will be 9-7-1. But the Giants have the head-to-head on them. If the Seahawks win their next 2 games, they're 9-8. The Giants would only have 7 losses. Giants are ahead of them. If the Lions win their next 2, Lions are 9-8. The Giants would only have 7 losses. So if the Giants win next week, okay, no matter what, they're the number 2 seed, because they can't catch the Cowboys. The Cowboys still have an outside chance of catching the Eagles. Okay, an outside chance, but I don't really see that happening. The Eagles have to lose their last 2 games. I don't know. It'd be kind of tough. The Eagles are very, very good. But I think no matter what, the Giants are the number 2 seed, wild card, number 2 wild card, no matter what. Because either the Eagles or the Cowboys would be the first wild card, the Giants would be the second, and then between the Seahawks, the Lions, and the Commanders would be battling out for the last wild card spot. So no matter what, if the Giants win next week, yeah, that was a good question. Giants win next week, they're in. You got that right on, Anthony? So they win, they're in. No matter whatever they do against the Eagles in the final week. So they win, they're in. They're at home. The Colts are not a juggernaut. The Colts can certainly beat us. It was the same thing with the Lions, right? The Lions came in here. Lions had like 2 or 3 wins at the time. Giants home. Giants going crazy. Things are looking great for the Giants, and what happens? We wind up getting slaughtered by them. But the one thing was with the Lions was the same thing would happen today. And as I said in my video last night, it's so easy to say this. I said in the video, the Giants can't beat themselves. They can't do the turnover thing. They need to get turnovers. And, of course, it's so easy to say that. But, after the game's over with, right, after the game's over with, and, the Giants had 2 turnovers, and they had a block punt, and the Vikings had no turnovers, and you lose on a 352-yard field goal as time expired. Well, that's why you lost. Turnovers. Plain and simple. It was the same thing like against the Lions. We had a bunch of turnovers. Daniel Jones had two interceptions, right? I think we had another turnover maybe. When we lost to the Seahawks, what did we do? Richie James lost 2 fumbles, right? Right. That was, which was huge in that game. I mean, we held the Seahawks and our offense in check a lot. We really couldn't move the freaking ball, but the Richie James punt, the fumbles were huge. The turnovers we had here, huge. We're going to go over those in a minute or two. The block punt. I mean, Jesus, come on. As every week, not so much like field goal wise or whatever, but every week, either the kickoff return or the punt return gives up something. Gives up, you know what I mean? Last week against the Commanders, we tried to pin them down. We tried to run some clock off at the end of the game. We were up 20-12. We kicked the ball short of the goal line, so made them return. So in theory, they catch the ball, they start running, the clock starts going, right? They're running, and you gang up on them and you tackle them before the 25-yard line. So they're out there around the 22, 23-yard line, somewhere around there, and they've used up 4 or 5 seconds off the clock. But in reality, what happened, the dude ran the ball all the way out, almost out to, I think, the 43-yard line, all the way out to midfield. Used up 8 seconds on the clock. Whoop-de-frickin-do, but they're almost out of midfield, right? But, I mean, it's like every week, these special teams is just, I mean, I don't want to say I'm just fucking pissed off, that's all. But, I mean, same thing here. Block. Let me. Where are we at here? The block punt. I'll go to play-by-play here. Play-by-play here. Where's the? Okay, so we had the block punt, and 5 plays later, 29 yards later, 1 minute 2 seconds later, Vikings scored a touchdown. It was 17-16, right? Block punt, boom. 5 plays later, Vikings are up 24-16. Right? Giants are driving. Vikings are up 7-0. Giants get the ball back. They're driving. We complete a ball. Let's see. I want to try to get exactly right here. We don't want to make no boo-boos. Okay. Oh, all right. Whoa. All right. Was it first? Well, okay. It was the first. I thought it was the second play, but first play of the second quarter. Bellinger catches the ball, gets down to the 23-yard line, fumbles it. Vikings get the ball. They run it back 12 yards to the 36-yard line. 10 plays later, they kick a field goal. Yeah. You have to say 3 points off the board. 3 points off the board, right? Because you figure he caught the ball at around the 23-yard line, right? So it was 1st and 10. He got 16 yards. We're at the Minnesota 39. We got 16 yards. So therefore, we got another first down, right? We're down to the 23. You figure, whatever. We say we don't obviously we don't score a touchdown on that drive. Say we get just say 5 yards on the next. So now we're down to the 18-yard line, right? You call Graham Gano out for a 35, 36-yard field goal. Chances are he's probably going to make it. There's 3 points for the Giants, which we never got because we fumbled it. Okay. Then let's go to the interception, right? The Giants. We were trying to match them. The Vikings had just scored a touchdown. Giants are up 13-10. Things are looking good. Vikings get the ball, march right down the field. Boom, touchdown. Okay. Giants get the ball back, and we start marching down the field. Okay. It was a touchback, so we start the ball at our own 25. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th play of the drive, right? Let's see. For 8 yards. We were at the Minnesota 32-yard line, right? You're in field goal range, because just say it's 1st down and 10. Just say we don't gain a yard. You go back 8 yards from there. He kicks it to 40, 10 yards of the end zone, right? 10 yards to goal post and back in the end zone. So it would be a 50-yard field goal. Very good chance. If we don't gain another yard, okay. We wind up possibly with another field goal, right? So there's 6 points the Giants blew, and I'm saying that's it's if we don't get another yard, if we continue to drive, maybe we score a touchdown. Who knows? But I mean, there's like 6 points right there. Okay, that because of the turnovers, right? we didn't get. Give the Giants those 6 points. Guess what? Giants are going home with the dub, right? And the other thing is that Giants didn't get any turnovers, right? None. Then we had the block punt. Block punt, 5 plays there to touchdown. I forgot. I was just so freaking sick to my stomach here. What do we got here? Justin Jefferson, yeah. One of the 1,347 catches Justin Jefferson had. I mean, the guy's a beast. But between him and Hawkinson, they had 25 receptions between it. 2 guys, 25 receptions. Yeah, you tell me we don't need Isaiah McKinney and Adoree Jackson back, huh? Wow, my God. I mean, we kept a lot. Yeah, I mean, well, let me see. Where we got box score? Here we go. I know Thielen didn't have a he only had 2 catches, 1 catch. Adam Thielen on 1 catch. Ham had 1 catch. Thielen had 1. Cook had 3. Osborne had 3, and Munt had 1. But between Hawkinson and Jefferson, they had 25 catches between the 2 guys, 3 touchdowns and 25 catches. I mean, just, unbelievable. Absolutely, just unfreaking believable. Hawkinson, their tight end, at 13 catches. I mean, we did, one of the rare times we actually did good against the run, okay? We helped, going into the game, Minnesota throws the ball twice as many times as they run. They average 20 rushes a game. They average throwing the ball 40 times a game. So out of every 3 plays, they'll pass twice, run once, right? It was pretty much the same thing here. They ran the ball 19 times, okay? But Kirk Cousins threw the ball, was it 48 times? Let's see where we at. There we are. 48 times. He was 34 out of 48 for 299 yards. Right? We got some pressure on him. We got some hits and all. We got 4 sacks. All right. But he didn't throw an interception. And the thing is that it was like this is like reversed, okay? Because Kirk Cousins has thrown 11 interceptions this year. Right. So you figure there's a good chance he throws like almost 1 a game. There's a good chance he would throw 1. He didn't throw any. Daniel Jones throws the fewest interceptions in the league. But so, of course, what happens? Of course, he throws 1. Right. So now he's up to 5 for the year, but he threw 1. Right. But, we didn't get a fumble. We didn't get an interception. We didn't block a punt. Nothing. That's everything Minnesota did. So between the 6 points that we lost on those 2 turnovers, the interception and the field goal, right? Then the block punt almost directly gave them a touchdown. So basically there was 6, there's 13 points right there, right? That we gave them pretty much with bad play, 13 points, right? So you take those 13 points off the board, right? Now the Vikings, the Giants would have been 24-24, right? It would have been like 24 to I don't know 10 or so. If you take all those points off the board, the Giants would be winning like 24-10, right? Or actually, they wouldn't have gone for it. It would have been like 23-10. Giants would have been won 23-10. The Vikings would have had the ball at the end. They wouldn't have gone for a field goal. Wouldn't have needed. They would have needed 2 touchdowns. So those blunders, those turnovers, the block punt and all was huge in this game. And the Giants couldn't get any. I mean, if you're going to give a fumble, okay, get 1 back. If you're going to throw an interception, get 1 back, right? Didn't happen. That's one of the huge reasons why the Giants won. Another one of the reasons why the Giants lost. I mean, they did very good running the ball. Okay, this stopped here. This is the first time in, what do we got? Do you like the Yankees? No, I'm a Met fan. I grew up on Long Island. I grew up about 20 miles from where the Mets play at. When I grew up, my dad never liked to drive into New York City, right? So I would watch the Nets because the Nets were on Long Island. I watched the Mets and I watched the Islanders because they were on Long Island. My dad would take me to see those guys. I remember watching Julius Erving play with the Nets when he was the Nets. It was like back in 73 or 74. He started with the Virginia Squires. I remember that. But I remember watching when he was with the Nets a couple years. Maybe it was 75 and 76. A couple years. I remember watching him. That was a lot of fun. The ABA, the Nets, they were really cool. But my dad never liked to drive into New York City, so we never got a chance to watch. I mean, we could watch them on TV, but we would go to watch the Mets play on Long Island. So that's the team I grew up liking. That's all. But I mean, the Giants, it's just horrible. Just, I mean, the turnovers, just, it was like the third time. What do we got? The third time in the past 5 or 6 years, I think the Giants have lost on a last second 60+ yard field goal. I mean, just talking about being freaking snake bitten. I mean, Carolina, Graham Gano kicked a 61 yarder or 63 yarder against us a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. We lost one to the Eagles, the last play of the game. That might have been a 61 yarder it was a 61 or 63 yarder, and we lost a 61 yarder today. So in the last 5 or 6 years, the Giants have lost on the last play of the game on field goals from over 60 yards. Just unbelievable. And the thing is that on that one play, just before when they went down and they spiked the ball and they kicked the field goal, right? But in that one play, the Giants brought some pressure just before Kirk Cousins, the pressure was getting, he dumped the pass out. Now you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. So now you're blitzing. Okay. Now the one thing that stunk, you get the ball out of his hands fast, which is great, right? The thing that stinks is now after he completes the pass, right? Now you have fewer guys in the secondary to make the tackle. So I forgot. I just so freaking just totally disgusted. How far, let's see, was that? Because you had the guy caught the ball like behind the line of scrimmage to Justin Jefferson. He got 17 yards. 17 yards. And that just brought him into field goal range. Had we just played back, okay, brought pressure with 4, right? And tried to cover and all. I mean, I don't remember exactly how many people we brought, but I know we sent an extra person or two. It certainly looked like it. And that one play, let him get 17 yards on the last play, would just let him get into the field goal range. Just unbelievable. Just, I said, I mean, we did well, running the ball. That the thing is, I mean, we got 126 yards on 21 carries. We averaged 6 yards a carry, right? Saquon had very good, get 14 carries, 84 yards. He had the nice touchdown run. Daniel Jones, 4 carries for 4 yards, right? We held them in check. They had 19 carries for 83 yards. This was the first time, okay, in the last 5 games, the Giants defense has given up over 150 yards rushing. So this breaks the streak, okay? However, the problem is they completed 34 passes on us for 480 yards. Between Hockenson and Justin Jefferson, they had 242 yards between those two guys. I mean, we couldn't cover anybody. I mean, it goes to show you, we have, our weaknesses, I mean, it just goes to show you we need Adoree Jackson back there. It would be huge. We need Xavier McKinney back. Said hopefully we beat the Colts. We'll be in the playoffs, and with any luck, maybe we can get Xavier McKinney back, and we can get Adoree Jackson back. But it goes to show, I mean, it would be nice. We obviously we're in a rebuild, right? It's not something that's going to be fixed overnight. It's not something that's going to be fixed next year. Regardless, we need, regardless, we need players, right? We can use another cornerback. I mean, between Rodarius Williams and Aaron Robinson, it's nice, but the guys are banged up all the time. It's like Shane Lemieux. He's banged up all. Ellison Smith. It's all the guy does is hurt. You know what I mean? So I mean, just goes to show you. We're going to need. Obviously this year, we see what we have. We know what where a lot of our deficiencies are. Okay. We know we can use maybe a little bit of help on the offensive line. I'm not sure what they plan on doing in the future as far as with the center and the guard position, right? I think we got Glowinski for another year. I think we can let him go after after a second year. I'm not sure what they want to do with Gates. This might be last year, maybe for Feliciano. I'm not sure. As I said, they're going to put Gates maybe as the center full time. I'll have to wait and see. But, we could certainly use some help in the middle of the line, obviously. But, obviously we need more firepower. As far as wide receivers, Hodgins, he looks like, they were going up against weak secondary. So, but he had 8 receptions. Who else had it? Right? Richie James had he had 8 receptions once again. So Richie James and Hodgins, they both had Saquon Barkley had 8 catches as well, too. I mean, Daniel Jones completed 30 out of 42. He had the 1 turnover now, the 1 interception, which cost us 3 points. Right? The 1 touchdown pass. But I mean, Hodgins, that was his 3rd touchdown reception, I think, on the year. Right? I mean, Hodgins, let's see. What is he up to? Hodgins. Okay, he's got 12, 16, 20. He's got 24 catches. He's played in 5 games. Recent games. Oh, what am I talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7 games. All right, so he's got 12, 16, 21, 24. He's got 29 catches in 7 games. Okay. And I know he wasn't like a full-time player in some of those games. So, I mean, basically in like half the season, okay, he has like, 29 receptions, not even quite half the season. So, I mean, if he was with the Giants the whole year, right, played almost full time and all that stuff and everything, he's on pace for 60, 70 catches. I'll tell you what, that's not bad. Guy coming off like a practice squad or whatever. So, right. And say the same thing with Richie James. He had another very good game, right? Darius Slayton had 4 catches. Okay. Saquon out of the backfield. Daniel Bellinger had 2 catches for 27 yards, but he had the one fumble, which cost us 3 points, which possibly could have cost us the game if you want to look at it like that, right? Jalen Smith had a good game, 10 tackles. Fabian Moreau, he had 8 tackles. Micah McFadden with 8. Dexter Lawrence, he had 6. Dexter had a pass defense. Wow, he was at a quarterback hit. We had 11 quarterback hits. So we were getting pressure. Okay. Jihad Ward had 3 quarterback hits. Leonard Williams had 2. Landon Collins had 1. Thibodeau had 1. Dexter had 1. Jalen Smith had 1. Pinnock had 1. Azeez Ojulari had 1. Azeez had a sack. Leonard Williams had a sack. Landon Collins had a sack. Jalen Smith had a sack. So we had 4 sacks. We had 11 quarterback hits. Now, that was the one thing I did in my video last night. I said, like, the defensive line could really be a huge key in the game for the Giants. And because the interior of the Vikings offensive line is rather weak, okay? And they were able to get pressure. They send in guys, okay? But also the interior, the Vikings offensive line was weak. So we were able to get, we got 4 sacks, 11 quarterback hits. So we were able to get some pressure. Okay. We were able to do good. The problem was in the back end trying to cover those guys. Now they got 3, between Thielen, Hawkinson, somehow the Lions let him go. I don't know, but they let him go. Okay, or they traded for the Lions, but then they got Justin Jefferson. So, it was just hard to cover those guys, especially when you got like 3rd string cornerbacks in there. Your best safety is out. Your best cornerback is out. It's very difficult to cover those guys. As we saw here, right? Let's see what else do we got here. The Giants were able to move the ball. They had 23 first downs. They had 445 yards of offense. The Vikings only had 353 yards of offense. The Giants had like almost 100 yards more of offense. The Giants were able to move the ball. It's just that the turnovers, right? The turnovers. It was just, in the long, obviously, you hate being a moral victory. You hate that. Okay. But kind of limping into the game, with the lack of wide receiver talent that we have, and this, McKinney's out, Adoree Jackson's out, I said Darius, I'm sorry, Aaron Robinson's, he's out for the season, so it's very, very difficult, you pat yourself on the back, the moral victory, right? I mean, of course, you want to win the game, and we certainly could have won the game. I mean, a lot of times it just comes down to turnovers. And I know it's so easy to say, but it's right. Once again, the special teams let us down. I don't mean Graham Gano, right? The punt team let us down. It's either like the punt return, punt coverage, or in this case, the punt blocking, with the block punt, or like the kickoff return. Seems like it lets us down. And I said, and those 2 turnovers were huge, absolutely huge, because they took pretty much at least 6 points off the board for the Giants. The Giants had 6 more points, right? The Giants would be winning 30-24, right? And therefore, then the Vikings are not kicking that field goal at the end of the game. The Giants probably would have won 30-24. Would have set them up. Would have been perfect. Kirk Cousins would have spiked the ball. 4 seconds left, I think it was, to go in the game. And where they're at, it was like the 44, 43-yard line, whatever. It would have been perfect for him, maybe staying right around midfield, heaving into the end zone for, a Hail Mary. The Giants maybe knock the ball down, the Giants win. But, I mean, I said those turnovers, the 2 turnovers, cost us this game, plain and simple. Hopefully, we can rebound, recoup and all. If we get our head right and realize if we just win next week, we're in. And one reason that's because everybody lost today. I mean, everybody except the Cowboys. The Commanders lost, the Seahawks lost, the Lions lost, the Giants lost, the Eagles lost. Everybody lost. A lot of teams, so we win, we're in next week. All right. So we gotta focus on that. All right. We got to take care of business. So we have to take care of business at home next week against the Colts. We need to win that game. We win that game, then we're guaranteed to get in the playoffs. And if we win that game, I believe no matter what, we're the number 2 wild card seeded team. That would mean that we would be playing, I guess it would be, the Cowboys would be playing as of right now. Still got a couple games to go, but I'm saying as of right now, the Cowboys would be playing Tampa Bay. The Giants, unfortunately, would be playing the 49ers, who have a third-string quarterback in there, okay? We'd be going on playing San Fran with a third-string quarterback, all right? They got a good defense, very good defense, all right? I'm just saying that's as of right now, okay? We still got a couple games left to go, but tough loss. It didn't really hurt the Giants because everybody else lost. Nobody gained on the Giants, right? Giants didn't lose ground to anybody, right? If the Giants win next week, we're in the playoffs for the first time since 2016. So all is not lost. All right. So we got to take care of business next week, regardless of what happened. And I said, if you want to step away and pat yourself on the back and say, we could have won. We gave it a good college try and this, that, and the other thing. And if the ball bounced better for the Giants, we certainly could have won this week. So we went into Minnesota. They only have 3 losses all year, right? And we could have beaten them. So you got to give yourself a little pat on the back for that. But moral victories don't mean jack crap, I guess, here. But so the Giants win next week against the Colts. We're in the playoffs. Well, guys, it's been 33, almost 34 minutes. Andy, I got a thumbs up. Somebody gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. Anthony Barker, thank you for your comments, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anybody spent any time at all watching me from the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate it. Tough loss for the New York Giants, but all is not lost. If we win next week, we're in the playoffs. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants.